Hey everyone, and welcome back to part 3 of the R6 rebuild. Last episode we went over all of the chain and sprocket kit. We replaced all of that. That one was a little bit messy. I had to split it up into 3 different small episodes. Basically because I was still waiting for the toolkit to come in to press those chain link pins in. I was going to get one online originally, but I found the one that I wanted on Marketplace. I just had to wait a couple of days for that for the guy on Marketplace to be available, and I went out and grabbed that. This episode today we are going to cover the brakes front and rear. We are going to rebleed the brake system. We are going to change all of the brake pads. I'll flip this over. Looking at getting new hose. It turns out I actually don't need longer hose for this, so I'm just a bit silly. The bracket for that is on the underfairing. I just completely forgot about that when I took it off, so that one's all good. It just needs to be rebled. But this one here, they didn't have any of the hosing at the auto shop. I might have some laying around at home here. I do have some 8, I think it's, it might be a bit bigger, it might be 10 mil, so that's too big, but I did get some clamps for when I do get that, the hose. We got our front and rear, our front and our rear brake pads. So as I said in one of the previous episodes, for these bikes, pretty much all of the OEM parts are discontinued, or whatever they do have left over is very minimal and is in dead stock. So there probably are some OEM ones laying around on eBay of these, but the asking price for them is just a bit too much. So these are basically aftermarket brake pads that share the same quality as the OEM ones. They're nothing special, they're just, sort of stock standard ones. But I just got these because I will eventually be changing my discs, but they still have at least 1 or 2 uses left in them. So once that's all, once they're all worn out, I will be buying the disc kit, which comes with a new brake pad, with them, and they will be sort of your like race spec, if you will. I also picked up some .4. You can get these take .3, .4, and 5.1. 5.1 is recommended by Yamaha, but it is a bit more expensive, and from the little bit of study that I've done, they have the exact same boiling point. They're basically the exact same. There's not really a huge difference in them, so it's not really worth spending the extra money when you don't need to. They also have, I think it's racing brake fluid, which is basically Super .4, which is even more expensive than the 5.1. But again, unless you're, hitting the track hard every single day, or you're a MotoGP racer, then you don't need any of that. This .4 here is completely fine. This one says Super .4 as well, but on the racing one that I saw, it was Super .4 too. So yeah. But yeah, pretty much today we're just gonna get the brake pads changed first. They're not too hard. You basically just take out these little clips holding them in, pull them out and replace them. Sort of the same with the rear. You just take out these bolts, lift the caliper out, change the brake pads. Excuse me for the wind, it is extremely windy today and everything's falling over. But yeah, you do that, put it all back together, and then if you haven't bled brakes before, it's pretty much the exact same as the car. So what you want to do is hook up a tube to your nipple, loosen your nipple off. I don't have my air compressor at the moment, so I'm going to just steal this tube and run it into an empty bottle so I can bleed this through and watch for any air bubbles. But yeah, you loosen that off. Pump the, well, on this one, you pump the rear brake until all the bubbles are clear. Once they're clear, you just want to pump it, hold it in, and while you're holding that in, you want to tighten up your nipple. If you let off before you tighten up your nipple, what that does is sucks air back inside, which you don't want that because that defeats the purpose of what you're doing. So hold it in, tighten your nipple, release off, and it's the exact same with your front brakes too. So you just want to loosen off your nipple. I'd probably recommend doing one at a time. I don't know if it'll work doing two at a time. It probably will, but I'll just recommend doing one at a time. So loosen off one, pump your front brake until all of the bubbles are out. Hold it in, tighten your nipple, and then release off again. And then that should be fine. I don't think this is going to have any bubbles in it because I'm not completely changing all the calipers or anything like that. So it's still got fluid in it. So I'm just going to pump it through until the fresh stuff comes through. So there's going to be little to no air bubbles whatsoever in this system, I'm hoping. Usually that's the case. It's usually just quick and easy when you're doing a flush that already has fluid in it. But yeah, so that'll just be a quick and easy one today. That's basically how you do it. I'll get set up. I'll get all the tools I need. I'll bring that parts over and I'll set the camera up and we will get straight into it. Alright, so with the tools today, I'm just using my quarter drive. You can use a 3/8. Quarter should be enough. And then you just want your size 6. Allen key head or H6 if you want to get technical. And then just your 8mm spanner for your nipples. The hex head is just for your caliper bolts here, and I've just whacked on an extension so I can. You probably won't need one, but I just whacked it on because it's a bit easier to get in there with the extension. Also, another quick thing: when you're doing the bleeding and pumping this in, you want to make sure that both your front and rear are nice and firm when you're pushing and pulling them in. You don't want it loose and sluggish. That means there's no pressure in there and your brakes aren't going to work very well. So you want it to be nice and firm and not spongy. It's good to have someone helping you out with these as well. If you're new to it, just have someone pulling in your lever or pressing down on that while you're taking notice of what's going on down below at the brake caliper itself. You're watching the fluid come through your tube, you're watching for any bubbles, and then when they hold it in, you can just quickly tighten down the nipple and clean it off and be done with it. But if you've got experience with this and you're confident and you're comfortable with your skill level, you don't really need it. You can just do it all yourself. But yeah, another good thing to have is a nice comfy stool so you can sit down and just roll around the bike and get it all done without having to bend over and get all uncomfortable. Yeah, I'll get all set up and I'll get the camera set up and we'll quickly get into it. When you're pumping through as well, just make sure, if you're doing the front, keep an eye on your canister, make sure that doesn't fall empty. If it falls empty and you're still pumping, you're just going to pump air back into it. So make sure that's always got fluid in it, keep topping it up. Every couple of pumps, just give it a quick check, top it up, and then the same when you're doing your rear one. Just keep an eye on it, make sure it doesn't run out of fluid, otherwise you're just pumping air back into it and you're going to be wasting time and fluid and money and all that sort of stuff. So just keep an eye on it, keep it topped up while you're pumping, and you will be all good. Cool, so I'm just going to start with this one, loosen these off, take them out, take the pads out, put the new ones in, chuck it all back together, tighten it all up. It's as easy as that, and we'll get on to bleeding it. Alright, so what you want to do here is once it's starting to come through all clear, you basically just press down. So you tighten it up once it's coming through clear. So all that old shit's gone, it's coming through clear with all the new stuff. You tighten your nipple up, you press down on your brake pad, your brake lever, sorry, and once it's firm, hold it down. While you're holding it down, release off. When you release off, you'll feel the brake lever go all the way down, and then hold it down and tighten it up. Do that a few times until there's no bubbles, and then move on to the front. It's the exact same. All right, awesome. So that's all done. That's pretty much how you do all of that. I wasn't able to bleed the front brakes through the brake nipples because they were seized up, so I had to take them out, put the tube inside of the hole where the nipple goes, and just do it that way. I got all the bubbles out of it. I tested the brake, and it was firm after that. I'll get some more nipples, put them in, and bleed it again, just to make sure. But other than that, that's pretty much how you go about doing that. That pretty much concludes this episode. So on the next one, I will be getting into pretty much cleaning all the bike down, degreasing it, getting it all clean and ready to start doing all the wiring, getting all the wiring done, and then getting all the fairings back onto it and getting it ready to pretty much go back on the road and get it down to get some new tires on it and all of that and take it for its first rip. But yeah, until then, I'll see you guys on the next episode, and thanks for tuning in. If you're liking what you see, like, comment, subscribe, all of that, and then I'll catch you guys on the next one. Peace.